Hey guys, welcome to our streaming reviews, TV reviews, whatever you want to call it, guys. And we've got WandaVision Episode 3, and so it's Friday, obviously, on Disney+. Guess we're doing individual reviews now. I guess Disney got what they wanted to build that hype train. Unless I combine this with another episode, you'll know. All right, we'll figure it out. Cause I don't know if I want to do individual episodes for the WandaVision. Is WandaVision something I care about enough to where we just?
I feel like you need two.
Yeah, it does feel like you need to, but we'll see. You guys let us know. You like the weekly ones? Do you like? I think we should probably do weekly ones. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of Disney Plus content, so maybe as these things go along, you're gonna have shows running concurrently, and we would do individual reviews for those. So, anyways, guys, let's talk about Episode 3 for now. So we begin with a little bit of color. Thank God. We get a little Brady Bunch opening, right?
Very much Brady Bunch.
Is that what that was? There's probably some...
It's like Partridge Family and just different
Partridge
stuff like
Family.
that,
I never watched a Partridge Family. I just know about
You never watched any of those shows?
Right?
Yeah. I
What
told
was
you I
your
don't like Nick
childhood
and Light,
like,
man. Cartoons, motherfucker.
watched those
G.I.
too.
Joe's, motherfucker. I ain't watching
watched
no
that
Nick
too.
and Night. What, did you watch MASH too?
What's that?
MASH is great.
I know he watched MASH. I know Joe
MASH is a
flipped.
wonderful
Nuh-uh.
TV
I
Joe
seen,
flipped
like,
the
How
channel.
dare you
couple
insinuate that's
episodes.
not good?
A couple episodes.
I hate you.
No, I hated it. I was a kid. I didn't even give it a chance, so it's not fair. But anyways, so I don't know. Immediately, I felt like this thing had better pacing. I felt like the jokes were better. I think, man, just more color injected in there, obviously, going from black white. But it's a big difference for me. What about for y'all?
Same. The other ones were really a slow pace. They were like a slow burn, and now we're actually getting somewhere. It's moving along, the story along. So I like this one.
Not only are we moving along in the story of WandaVision, but also it's in the styles and a more contemporary style as cinematographers and sitcoms of the time were advancing their tech and advancing their shots. We get more complex shots, and I really like that. Instead of just flat angles, we get shot, reverse shot. We get interesting framing when Vision is lifted up in the air, and basically, it's far more fascinating to watch, and now not all the jokes land, but enough of them do where I enjoyed it. So the storyline here is what?
Babies.
So where we last
Babby
left
is
Wanda.
boring.
She was pregnant, and the doctor comes over. He's like, Jesus, this is moving far along. They're kind of trying to keep it on the mum that it's moving so quickly. So he's like, here's where
because the day before she was fine, and now she's like 9 months pregnant.
Yeah, here's where you're at with it. He uses a fruit analogy, like where you're gonna go with the cassava, and an event, or you're gonna be like a cassava melon.
I did like that.
The papaya, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna be a papa. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, oh, all this talk is fruitless.
Yeah.
I
thought they were gonna be what is it gonna be like a cherry or a little
on.
strawberry, because it's like, well, it would have been tiny just a few weeks ago. Anyways, so it was silly. It was fun as you went along there. A lot of color, a lot of brightness. It's good to see that. The neighbors, just you see the background. It's a fake background.
Yes.
It's like that old school style. And honestly, it's very faithful to that. What is this? 80s? No, 70s.
70s.
Very faithful to the 70s, and we're going to get to the 80s. And just like the 60s were faithful and the 50s were faithful to that. And so there's inherent weaknesses in there. And as we get further along in the timeline, as I expected, I'm enjoying them more and more. However, I felt like it derailed a little bit. They spent way too much time on one particular segment. I want to see if you guys know what segment that is. I was like rolling my eyes. I was like, come on.
The bucket scene?
Bucket?
When she's like, I need a bucket, and then she's wandering through the house trying to cover up that she's pregnant, and then she's trying to cover up the stork, and then she's trying to, it's just like...
The bucket scene. I call it the stork scene.
Yeah, it's a 22-minute episode. And we
fucking
got like
10 minutes
it's
of it.
too
I was
long.
like, what the fuck? Stop it.
Yeah.
And that rating was going up, and it hit a fucking brick wall. I was like rolling my eyes. I was like, get on with it, The banter back and forth felt so fake. Like, I get the joke, right? Because we've seen that. It's a trope. We've seen it a ton of times. But when you drag that thing out longer, it started to annoy me. What about you, Joe? Didn't bother you?
No, I thought it was fine.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, cool. Well, we also get the commercials. Every single episode, we've had these fun commercials. And the commercials are literally telling you what's happening. Do you remember the
Hydra.
quotes?
Unleash your goddess.
Escape, and and then you read my mind, and some different various lines in there where once we watch the whole WandaVision, if you go back, you'll know exactly what those commercials are talking about. Still a little bit up in the air how all of this has come together, but we know for sure at this point that Wanda is in control of this sort of pocket universe because that is revealed. So what happens, Joe? What moves this story forward?
She was like 4 months pregnant in the beginning, and then she turns out she's 9 months pregnant. Baby's coming. Everything starts going haywire.
Yeah, the haywire. Let's talk about that real quick. Wanda's contractions. At Wanda's power level, you're telling me that when she's going, all that's happening is a fireplace burns, a picture spins, and a vacuum cleaner vacuum cleans.
No,
well, she's also
she's
creating reality around her too.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
she's doing
you're
all
saying
of that stuff.
Power was being used to hold the world up. Because I would imagine at her power level when she's pregnant and she would be causing much more damage. Okay, so then she's contracting.
Yeah, you see, like even the characters she made up. He's like cutting the edges. He's trimming the edges of the bush, and then all of a sudden he just. Cutting into
He's
the
still
concrete,
going. He's like,
malfunctioning. It's like, all right, something's going on with Wanda. Better go inside. And yep, that's exactly what's going on. Wanda just kind of she can't control her powers right now because I guess.
Well, she gets distracted from time to time. Yeah. The baby is born, and what happens with this, her friend character, who we just assume, obviously off screen, we haven't seen their relationship develop or whatever, or maybe it hasn't developed at all, and this is just like boom, boom, it just happens one right after the other in her mind.
Yeah,
so she's got a best friend now.
It's literally the next day from the day after that she met her. And
the magic show.
Yeah, right after the magic show, and so they, she comes in, she helps deliver the baby. And there's some weirdness in this episode. One thing that it's really important to cover is earlier in the episode, Vision starts to have a little bit of a breakdown, and he's talking to her right before she gives birth, and he's like, "Something's weird, something's off about this town. I don't." And she gives him a look, and it almost felt like the Disney streaming service was a problem. It's like, what happened?
I noticed it was a blink.
Cool.
I saw a blink, and then she like blinked it out of existence.
Yeah, and then he's happy again. He's not forgetting any of those things, and so you can tell that she's controlling everything. Yep. And so her friend shows up, delivers a baby, and then the friend starts saying things that she don't like. She wasn't programmed to say, and she's like, "Wait a minute!" And so it's starting to teeter on.
So you don't belong.
Well,
here.
I'm thinking that I'm starting to get the impression that it's not all Wanda herself because she seems to be putting the things together herself. If that was the case, she knew exactly what the hell did you just say? Get the fuck out! Boom. But no, she was like, what did you say? And then she's like, what is with that necklace? Like,
yeah,
and I think what was going on there is with the necklace, obviously it's a sword. It's the sword and shield kind of thing. But why would she care about her? Why would she notice it? Well, previously she had gotten the helicopter and looked at the little toy helicopter
the beekeeper and
noticed that symbol there, noticed the beekeeper symbol. So she was like, in her own little reality, she's like, okay, are you coming after the baby? Like, who are you? You're reminding me of something. Oh, you're reminding me of something. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about it. Don't remind me of that trauma. Get out, kind of thing. We don't. It happens somewhat off screen because Vision walks back in after talking with the neighbors. That's a critical scene. Let's talk about that scene. Continue. So
Vision gets back with the doctor. He sees the neighbors, Herb and Agnes, and they're
whispering some gossip.
Yeah, they're just talking, but you can tell that it's not normal gossip. They're worried about something, and they're speaking loud enough that it bothers him, and he goes over there. And these are not the characters of the show, right? These are not what we've seen in the last couple episodes. Like, these two people are worried. They're worried about something to the point where it's triggered him to investigate a little bit.
Yeah.
Agnes says, like, don't spill the beans, and takes off. And Herb goes back inside, but you can tell that
Which is interesting because I expected from Agnes, but not really from Herb.
Yeah.
unless Herb is on the outside world too, or in league with Agnes, or maybe Agnes is the one that's helping to create this world in addition to Wanda, and she can converse with her
That's
acolytes.
what I'm thinking, because that's going to be her subconscious. It's like, oh yeah, just reinforcing this is her fake world.
Okay,
That's what I was thinking.
She's reinforcing.
Yeah.
Agnes.
Yeah, I think Agnes is worried that someone could break the illusion. It could be
Yeah.
very, very dangerous because Wanda is so incredibly powerful. And then we also get some things. People are thinking this like, is Mephisto Ralph? We've talked about. Agnes has said a couple times like this time he looks better in the dark. Yeah. And that's not the only place the devil
totally
is.
Mephisto.
Yeah.
The heavy spoilers and he totally got it. I think we're on track with all that good stuff. So.
We got this.
Yeah. So and then she takes off. But what's interesting is that she's not interested at all in the kids. I kind of expected Agnes to be like, can I see the kids? Can I see the kids? Not really any of that. She's not really. She's more concerned to stay at a distance, let it happen, and maybe our theory of she wants the kids, something doing with the kids, she'll do that later. But to show kind of zero interest at all, and she's more interested in maintaining the world. I can buy that if that's still the premise.
She's not supposed to know about it. She's not supposed to know that she's pregnant. Remember, she got pregnant yesterday, and she had kids
yeah,
today.
but if she's helping reinforce this world, then I'm pretty sure she's in the mind realm and she can understand that there's something going on.
Yeah, my thinking was the main objective was to kick
but it's
Foxy
very true.
out.
Yeah. But I'll go with that angle.
Just get
that
Foxy
maybe
out right now, then later deal with the kids.
Yeah. I just think they're all trying
because
to
this is
make
an
sure.
outsider, and whether Foxy went in, what'd you call her, Foxy?
She called herself Foxy.
Yeah, whether she goes in there, intentionally, it seems like it's intentional at this point. So she's in there anyway. So Vision comes in the doorway, and it's like, where is she? And it's like, oh, she had to run or she had to leave. But you could, but she was a little sinister about it. And then the very next scene is popping out of a bubble.
Yeah, because even when Agnes and Herbert were talking and Vision was there, he's like, yeah, she just came out of nowhere.
She did.
Like,
she has no
have
home.
She has no home.
There's
she
no
doesn't, so I was like,
neighborhood here.
Okay, yeah.
She probably just walks and then stands outside and just waits. And
Yeah.
hey, Wanda, how's it going?
It's like, I'm back.
Anyways, so she's gone, and then we see a scene of her flying out, hitting the ground, and then a bunch of military or agency vehicles showing up and helicopters, and you see basically a containment area, or at least some stadium lights, kind of showing exactly what's going on the outside. Now, not much is revealed upon that. They don't say, oh my God, who is this? And oh, you're one of our agents. That's probably saved for the next episode, and all these things are going along. So I expected as much in this episode. Probably went about as expected as I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to get a little more teasing, a final reveal of the real world right at the end. That's exactly what happened. Did not expect the 10-minute long stork scene that was not funny, that kind of derailed it for me. But other than that, I really liked it.
Cheese and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go to our final verdicts for this episode.
I'm going to give this an 8. I really had fun with it, but like you said, some of them were kind of lingering around, and it did move the story forward, which I wanted. But everyone's like, oh, it's slow burn. I was like, I get it. But I'm happy we're here now, and I look forward to the next one. So 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about the same place. I think it's appropriate. I mean, it's weird because I like that it's starting to get going now, and it wasn't really... Everything was set up before this, like episode 1, episode 2. These are all set up things, and so now we're moving a little bit, but it's still going pretty slow. We're a third of the way through. The story really hasn't started really yet.
It's 8 episodes, right?
It's 8 or 9 episodes,
9.
And so they need to kind of pick up. And so I'm still upset that they're only releasing 1 episode a week.
I
It should at
hate
least
it.
be 2 because
I would love to talk about 2 a week. Let's move to that format. That's a good format.
Yeah, or
for reviewers.
yeah. But I think that all of this stuff can radically change depending on how this thing finishes out. If it finishes out, we're constantly rewatching for Easter eggs. This could all be amazing television. Problem is, if we're looking at them independently in a vacuum on their own, they're not incredible. They're just pretty good
that's
TV.
exactly how I felt with the. If you would have gotten like the first episode and you had to wait a week, I would have been like, ah.
Yeah, would you come back and have watched this show when it came out, or you like, I'll catch it whenever I catch it?
Yeah.
Which would no, I'm asking.
That's how I felt because like everyone's like it's a slow burn. It's like I don't like a lot of slow burning movies, and I was like, all right, it'll make sense at the end, but That's
Okay.
gonna be forever.
So Joe's an 8 and you're an 8?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
so.
I'm thinking conclude on March 8 weeks after its initial debut. I think there's 8.
There's
Or
only
no,
8
there's
weeks.
9 because they did two at the
okay.
beginning. So I'm gonna go. I was about to hit 8 too, but I'm gonna go with a 7 because I felt like it's a little uneven. The pacing was uneven there. We spent a little too much time on that
the
comedy bit that
colors.
wasn't funny. There was some great funniness before that, and then that kind of hit the wall for me. You may disagree or whatever, but I like that side of Vision, seeing his kind of fatherly instinct and loving instinct kicking in even more. So I really thought that was touching, and Wanda. So
May you rest in
really
peace.
well
It's
acted,
fake.
well filmed, looks great, and definitely moving the story forward. 7 out of 10, guys. As we move into the next era, which should be the 80s. Now, do you think that we'll stop at the 80s and 80s will just the shit will hit the fan in the 80s, or do you think we'll get to the 90s and then the 2000s and then the 2010s? And then shit will hit the fan. Well, how far do you think it'll go? Let's place bets. Do you think it'll
90s.
stop at the 80s?
90s.
Okay.
Modern day. I think it goes all the way up to modern day.
Goes all the way up to modern day. Well, then that leaves me with the shit position of saying all of it goes to crap in the next episode. I'll take it.
Well,
I know I'm
I'm
going to
hoping
lose.
Full House. They have to go to Full House.
Well,
this
this
is
is
I know.
90s,
this is
yeah.
Elizabeth
I know.
Olsen. Her sisters are the Olsen
Oh,
twins.
well, then forget
We
it. I'm
have to-
pulling out.
We
I'm
have
pulling
to
out.
go to.
Then I'll say we'll stop at the 2000s. I think they'll probably stop at the 90s. Who chose that?
Bam.
You did. Okay. Well, I'll say 2000s, and he says we go all the way
all the way
till
to modern day.
with
I'm really
2020s.
hoping if they do the next series, 80s, like Good
Yeah.
Times and the Jeffersons, that would be
We'll see.
amazing.
All right, Joe. On
He hasn't
On
seen
which-
it either, I bet.
no, I haven't seen it either. Which era is that?
80s.
Would be the 80s. So that's what you're looking for. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're planning to do. We shall find out. Okay. So, all right, guys, we shall see you next week. Thank you all very much for watching. Appreciate that. And yeah, check you on the next one. Bye, guys.